Welcome to a course on Criminological Theories, CRM 360. This class is an overview of the course and it will address the importance of studying criminological theories, challenges of criminological research, classification and measurement of crime, and the major schools of thoughts that will be examined during this course. Social sciences, including criminology, endeavors to study the social world. Research and theory building is at the heart of scientific advancement of sciences and social sciences. Science is the knowledge produced by a process of a set of logical and systematic methods for investigating the physical world and natural processes. Social science is the knowledge produced by the use of scientific methods to investigate individuals, societies, and social processes. Research and theory building is important for the advancement of understanding of crime in society. Research requires systematic methods for investigating the social world. For understanding the factors that cause crime in society, there is a need for using the correct methods of study. Correct research methods are important for ensuring confidence in the validity of the study. Validity exists when the statements or conclusions about empirical realities are correct. Theories are not built in vacuum but are explained in the context of changes taking place in society. Majority of people have opinions on causal factors of crime and believe social factors such as bad family life, unemployment, and lenient courts play a role in the causation of crime. However, these opinions are not drawn from any research but from implicit understanding or intuition. They are based on family upbringing, religion, portrayal of crime in the media, personal victimization, significant events, or personally knowing someone involved in crime. Social experiences shape how people think about crime. Members of the general public are not the only ones whose crime theories are influenced by their life experience. Even the opinion of social scientists and government officials are influenced by social events. Government officials and academics should put aside these personal biases. They should depend on rigorous methodology and good data. However, this does not happen to the degree required. As social experience influences attitudes about criminality, then as society changes, views about crimes are impacted by the changing social views. Factors such as demonic thinking, natural selection, prevalent social ills, permissive societies are factors that have been considered to impact crime in various criminological theories. A person's current thinking about crime is conditioned by their social experience. Researchers should be aware and ensure that their thoughts are not biased by such factors. Good crime theory is important in the response to combat crime. The theory developed by a social scientist will be used by others, people, political leaders, and policymakers in their efforts against the crime problem. Understanding why crime occurs is a prelude to developing the strategies to control crime in society. Theories provide a model. It transforms raw data into understanding, causal relations, explanations, and methods to control causal factors. Causal factors could be genetic factors, social, economic, or psychological factors. The relationship between theory and policy is complicated. Sometimes theory drives policy, sometimes policies are adopted and theory is used to justify the policy. Often the process is interactive, with theory and policy legitimizing each other. Political factors also play an important role. For example, conservative politicians depend on deterrence theory in contrast to liberal politicians depending on rehabilitation of offenders. As theories of crime change, so do policies, from genetic factors to addressing social factors to deterrence of crime. The relationship between theory and policy is influenced by the transformation occurring in society. When shifts in societal opinion occurs, theoretical models gain or lose credence, and in turn gains or loses the ability to justify a range of criminal justice policies. A very large number of crimes occur in society. For the purpose of understanding the different types of crime occurring in society, they are classified into different categories. Common categories include violent crimes, property crimes, public order crimes, and economic crimes. Violent crimes are those that involve harm to an individual. The harm could range from simple hurt to extreme consequences such as the death of the victim. Examples of violent crimes include assault, grievous assault, rape, attempt to murder, and murder. Among violent crimes, murder is one of the most serious crimes. Most societies consider taking of human lives unacceptable and therefore consider it a serious crime which attracts severe punishment. Murders could be committed of one person or of multiple persons. Multiple murders involve mass murders such as school shootings and genocide such as the one in Rwanda or Bosnia. Multiple murders may also be in the form of spree killing and serial killing. Spree killings are killings done by one individual over a limited period of time. Serial killings are multiple murders committed over a long period of time which may spread over months, years, and decades. There are violent crimes occurring in intimate settings. Intimate violence is different from the violence inflicted by strangers because intimate violence usually occurs behind closed doors and the chances of it being known to the outside world become less and it is less likely to be reported to the police. Common types of intimate violence are child abuse and spousal abuse. Child abuse, both physical abuse and sexual abuse, is a common type of violence inflicted on children. Child abuse could result in both physical and emotional trauma, and it is estimated that over 700,000 children are abused each year in the United States. Child abuse results in severe damage to children, including lower self-esteem, violent behavior in children, and maladjustment in society. Domestic violence is also a common crime in the United States. Gang violence is a problem faced by many urban societies. Gang violence occurs for turf protection or for protecting profits made from criminal activities such as drug trade, arms trade, or human trafficking. In the United States, there are approximately 29,000 gangs functioning at any point of time with a large number of gang members. Operation of gangs in society has a significant impact on increasing crimes in society. Hate crimes are those in which violence is inflicted on a person or property because the victim belongs to a different demographic group. Hate crimes have been targeting racial minorities, ethnic minorities, religious groups, and on the basis of gender identities such as LGBT groups. There have been instances of attacks on homeless as well as older citizens. One of the reasons such serious hate crime is the Charleston church shooting that occurred in 2015 in South Carolina. Another recent example of hate crimes is the Pittsburgh Tree of Life synagogue attack in 2018. As per the FBI records, 11,634 hate crimes were recorded in 2022. Most of the crimes are motivated by bias against race, religion, disability, ethnicity, or sexual orientation. Crime in which the property of a person is illegally removed or damaged by another are called crime against property. Such crimes include theft, burglary, arson, and criminal mischief. Robbery is also a property crime which involves the taking away of property under the threat of violence. Each of these crimes have a legal definition which we will not go into at present. Public order crimes are acts that violate the law and disrupt the normal functioning of society through both physical inconveniences as well as by running contrary to the existing moral standards of society. These crimes include disorderly behavior in public, such as loitering in the public space, shouting loudly and moving in a manner that obstructs normal pedestrian movement, drinking in public area, jaywalking, prostitution, or using narcotic substances in the public area. These crimes create a sense of lack of order in society and fear among the people. Wilson and Kelling, in their broken windows theory, have argued that public disorder and public order crimes create an environment for more serious crimes such as robberies, rapes, and murders. Economic crimes are illegal acts committed for obtaining financial gains. These crimes fall largely within the ambit of white-collar crimes and include acts such as tax evasion, money laundering, violating customs and excise laws, manipulation of stocks and shares, violation of intellectual property rights, and cyber crimes. These crimes use methods of cheating, forgery, and counterfeiting. Crime is a phenomena that occurs on a day-to-day basis. Societies and governments make efforts to prevent and detect crime if it occurs. In the US, lawlessness, particularly lethal violence, rivals or surpasses that in other industrialized Western nations. Most of us are lucky not to be victims of a serious crime. But victims of crime often suffer deep physical, mental, social, and financial losses because of their victimization. While crime has had a deep impact and has consequences for individuals and society, people fighting crime have also caught the imagination of society. This is reflected in the books and movies made on police, courts, and the criminal justice system. There are differences in levels of criminality across communities. It is seen that areas with better socio-economic conditions have lesser crime compared to those having problems of poverty. This does raise several questions, such as why are there high crime rates in the United States? Why do certain areas have higher crime rates than others? Or why do certain people violate the law and not others? There is a need for conducting serious study of crime and its causes. Such study and understanding are required for formulation of policy and to prevent and control crime. Criminologists have been systematically studying the problem from the 18th century onwards. However, there is a need for use of systematic research methods for the study of crime, as otherwise there is the possibility of personal biases impacting the validity and reliability of the study and our conclusions. There is therefore the need for quantitative and qualitative studies to be conducted. Quantitative studies are usually done using crime data, and qualitative studies are done through observations of events and ethnographic studies. Though crime statistics do not reflect all the crimes taking place in society, they are among the best data available for studying crime. In the United States, there are different data sets which are collected by government and non-governmental agencies. Important among them are the UCR or the Uniform Crime Reports, NIBRS, the NCVS, and self-report surveys. UCR or the Uniform Crime Report is the data on crimes reported in the different police departments in the United States, which are collected by the FBI. The UCR is structured as Part 1 crimes and Part 2 crimes. Part 1 crimes include 8 serious crimes which are murder, rape, robbery, assault, burglary, larceny or theft, arson, and motor vehicle theft. Part 2 crimes include all other crimes other than traffic violations which are not collected in the UCR data. The FBI publishes the Uniform Crime Reports every year. Though the UCR data has many drawbacks, the data has great value and is used extensively to understand occurrence of crime and crime trends. There are 3 other important sources of crime data which are commonly used. The National Incident-Based Reporting System, or NIBRS, is data collected by the FBI from the police agencies. The program collects data on 46 special offenses. Data is collected on the details of the incidents and the arrests made and information on the victim and offender. The NIBRS data provides some more information on crime events compared to the UCR data. The National Crime Victimization Survey, or the NCVS, is a victim survey conducted jointly by the Department of Justice and the US Census. The survey is conducted to assess the actual levels of crime in society and overcome the problems of non-reporting of crime by the victims. The survey, which is conducted through telephonic interviews, helps in assessing the true levels of crime in society. The survey estimates the proportion of victims who report a crime to police and those who don't. Survey assists in understanding the victim's experience, the victim-offender relationship, and the trends in victimization. Another technique used to understand crime in society is by conducting self-report surveys to ask respondents regarding their criminal behavior. Such surveys are generally conducted among the youth in universities and colleges and obtain information regarding attitudes towards crimes, drug use, etc. The course and the text examine the intersection of social context, criminological theory, and the criminal justice policy. Theories are presented in a chronological manner and are arranged as different schools of thoughts. The course examines the origin of modern criminology and then goes on to later theories such as the Chicago School, the social learning theory, strain theory, and so on. It is argued that in the present day, the discipline of criminology is immature. This is primarily because of the diversity of theories indicating an absence of a dominant paradigm. There is a multiplicity of theories in criminology, and this is ascribed due to the absence of a dominant paradigm. A dominant paradigm could earn the allegiance of most scholars. In the event of a dominant paradigm, disagreement between scholars and development of new ideas would be within the overriding paradigm. The occurrence of a multiple theories is also due to the complexity of the subject. Human behavior is shaped by a range of factors that are inside and outside the individual. Factors inside the individual would include biological and psychological factors, and factors outside would include social and economic factors. Criminal behavior is also impacted by age and varies across the life course of an individual. Criminological theories are organized into different schools of thought. One of the most important theories is the classical theory of crime. It is based on the writings of Cesare Beccaria. The theory is rooted in the age of enlightenment and the vision that human beings are endowed with free will and equal rights. The theory posits that crime occurs when people exercise their free will and pursue their self-interest. Crime was a rational choice when pleasure of illegal acts outweighed pains. Individuals calculate the cost and benefit of criminal acts, and when the benefits of crime exceed the cost, they commit the crime. Crime will also be deterred if punishment were just, certain, and quick, and the cost of the crime becomes more than the benefits. The positivist school is based on the idea that crime is caused or determined by causal factors. These causal factors could be biological, psychological, or sociological factors. The positivists believed that crime was like an illness and it was caused by some factors and not chosen by the individual committing the crime. There was something different between an offender and a person who did not commit crimes. The goal of criminology was to scientifically detect these causal factors. By finding these differences between offenders and non-offenders, the identified factors could be used as a strategy to mitigate crime in society. The Chicago School of Criminology was an outcome of the advances made by the positivist school in their efforts to use science to study crime. The theorists associated with the Chicago School argued that the causal factors of crime were not found in the people, but rather in the social circumstances. Crime was a product of the characteristics of the community that they lived in. They argued that social disorganization that occurred in certain communities resulted in the breakdown of informal social control in the neighborhood. As these informal social controls reduced, cultural values that encouraged the delinquency to emerge and sustain and resulted in higher crime rates in this area compared to others. Learning theories, control theories, and strain theories are together known as the big three theories of criminology and are considered as the mainstream criminological theories. This is primarily due to their explanatory power and enduring influence on explaining crime in society. The differential association theory is the main learning theory. Developed by Edwin Sutherland, this theory posits that crime is learned in intimate association with peers. In this intimate relationship, individuals learn cultural definitions supportive of illegal conduct and techniques of committing crime. Sutherland stated 9 principles that explain the process of learning of crime through differential association. Control theories explain the occurrence of crime as due to the weakening of individuals' internal and external control mechanisms. While there are different explanations of control, such as Walter Reckless's containment theories, Hershey's social bond theory, The main theory that explains control is the self-control theory by Gottfredson and Hershey. Self-control theory stated that the locus of control was within an individual and the individual variations to exercise self-control was developed early in life and affects across the life course. They asserted that the self-control and not social bonds was the chief source of resistance against criminal temptations. Anomy and strain theory explains the occurrence of crime as due to the individual being pressurized into criminal activities when they are prevented from achieving culturally prescribed goals through legitimate means. There are different versions of the theory, such as the classical anomy and strain theory of Robert Merton, variations of the strain theory by Albert Cohen and Cloward and Ohlin, Messner and Rosenfeld's institutional theory, and Agnew's general strain theory. The theory explains why certain countries have higher crime rates than others. They ascribe it to the fact that certain countries, such as the United States, have strong emphasis on the goals of monetary success, but weak emphasis on legitimate norms of achieving them. The emphasis on the goals and the lack of emphasis on the means result in criminal behavior. The conservative era saw a rapid rise in prison populations in the United States. As a response, there was a new direction in the growth of critical criminology, labeling theory, peacemaking, restorative justice and reintegration, and feminist perspective. These theories developed in the background of the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War, and the declining trust in the political system and highlighting of social and criminal injustices. The theories posit that conflict and power were involved in the definition and production of crime. The process of stigmatizing offenders and processing them through the criminal justice system created further criminal behavior in individuals. Critical criminologists argued that political power shaped what is considered as crime and who is subject to arrest. The feminist perspective linked crime to patriarchy, masculinities, and the intersection of race, class, and gender. The late 20th century saw the revival of deterrence theory with an added facet of exercise of choice to commit a crime when opportunity was available. There was a revival of the deterrence theory through the works of Cornish and Clark of modeling offender decisions to commit crime and Wilson and Kelling's broken windows theory to control crime. Deterrence theory was also advanced by the development of environmental criminology and situational opportunities theory. Most theories focus on offenders and why people commit crimes. In contrast, environmental criminology is concerned with the crime and the opportunity to commit crime. Rational choice theory states that people choose to engage in crime, but people can choose only when choices are available for them. Routine activities theory deals with the range of choices available to potential offenders. Routine activity theory states that three elements are necessary for a crime to occur: motivated offender, suitable target, and an absence of capable guardian. Crime occurs when a motivated offender comes in contact with a suitable target in the absence of a capable guardian. The late 20th and the 21st century also saw the development of new theories such as biosocial perspective and life course criminology. The biosocial perspective tried to explain crime on the basis of biological factors such as the working of the brain and the nervous system, and genetic factors. The theory focused on the interaction between the biological and social factors which led to occurrence of crime. Life course criminology examined the relationship between age and crime and how over a life course a person would indulge in crime at a young age and desist from crime at later ages due to biological factor as well as life events such as employment and marriage. This course examines the major theories and the focus will be on the core principles of each of these theories and how relevant they are in explaining occurrence of crime in today's world. The course also explains and examines the impacts of these theories on criminal justice policies to prevent crime.